Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel. And we're live. We're live on this glorious Thursday morning here in Manchester in the UK. And the reason for going live is last night, or sort of yesterday, in USA terms, Instagram announced something pretty big, and we knew it was coming for a while, but Instagram released IGTV. That's Instagram TV. And this is the first time we've had a platform the size of Instagram or anyone in that sort of billion sort of monthly users mark directly take on YouTube. And this begs the interesting question, you know, what is this? What does this mean? What does this mean for video creators, content creators? What does it mean for e-commerce businesses who are creating video content? It's all very, very interesting right now. For a long time, we thought Facebook would have been the first one with Facebook Watch to take a swipe at YouTube. But whilst that still seems to be locked down in beta and there's not really, we've not heard a lot of movement on that, Instagram TV announced late last night, I think it was about midnight here in the UK that I saw it, so it must have been Pacific time, San Francisco, so yesterday evening in the US, that IGTV was now a thing. It was live. They were basically rolling it out immediately. They also announced that they now had 1 billion monthly active users. And all of a sudden, this begs the question, well, what does this mean for YouTube, basically? And what does this mean for video content creators? When we look at, you know, arguably you could say that influencers or influencers as a term has really, YouTube started it, but Instagram have really opened that up to more people. Like the amount of people who you could class as YouTube influencers was actually quite small. You know, up until recently, you had to have 1 million sort of subscribers, if not a few more. You know, you've got the likes of KSI, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Zoella in the beauty industry. They were like the big guys from the past few years, whereas Instagram has enabled much more ambiguous people to become sort of micro influencers in their own niche, and they would build up their own following of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. You know, every day someone says, "Oh, have you heard of this Instagrammer?" And you know, I'm like, "No," and check out, they've got like 3 million followers. It's like, well, if that was a YouTuber, I would probably have heard of them. So Instagram has a huge influencer network of people with a lot of followers, you know, a big following, big audience. And for me, that's what makes this very, very interesting. Back in May this year, but May 2008, literally last month, the latest numbers that we could garner from YouTube was that they had 1.8 billion monthly active users. Now that doesn't give you much to go off, because the direct comparison here is tricky. The amount of people who have YouTube accounts that consume content but will never create a single piece of content, will never upload a video, is huge. It's the vast minority that will actually upload videos on a regular basis to build a community like you guys on this channel. It's actually quite small. Whereas over on Instagram, the vast majority of Instagram users publish content. Whether that just be pictures or photos on their feed, or whether that be stories using video content. So this is what makes this a much more complex situation right now. Instagram, whilst on paper have the lower active users, and we're saying 1 billion is the lowest active users, what they do have is a much more open community to publishing content. And this is where IGTV is very, very interesting. I posted my first IGTV just before I went live today. It's incredibly easy to do, and that's a big thing. Is that, put this in perspective, I think I've got about 1,350 followers on Instagram compared to 740-ish on the YouTube channel. So Instagram is nearly, my audience is nearly double on Instagram. But there doesn't seem to be a block. There's not a limit. So for example, right now I am under the monetization threshold on YouTube. I wouldn't monetize it anyway, but even if, you know, until I got to ridiculous numbers. But YouTube don't see me as a full-time creator. I have less than 1,000 subscribers, and I have under the threshold of hours viewed to be able to monetize my content, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem. They brought this change in earlier this year. Instagram have released IGTV with no block. I mean, I literally could set up the account. I can now post videos up to, you know, I think an hour, is it, or something like that. It was all very easy to do. It all I basically had to log in with my Instagram account. There was no separate logins. It all just worked. The upload, I would say, was a little slow, but that doesn't surprise me, just purely due to the fact I imagine there's a lot of people right now trying to test this out, trying to upload videos. I'm sure the Instagram TV servers are taking a bit of a beating right now. So, but I urge you to actually go and download the IGTV app. The actual, like I mean, if we go on here, oh God, that's me. That's the one I did earlier. But the actual, like, using, I've got to say that the video the full screen vertical video actually sort of works. Also with Gary, and this is a point which I made on IGTV, is like, if Gary Vaynerchuk is already experimenting and playing with this, that's usually a good indicator that you should be too. And for a long time, you know, I've spoken about the video content and the importance that you can't hide. It's great. You know, people like people. They get to meet you and see you and get a feel for what it is you're about. This is just a whole new element to that. You've now potentially got a whole new audience of which to put your products or your services or yourself in front of. And I think that that's something which, again, I've always been a big advocate for on this channel, is people creating content. If you're an e-commerce business, whether that be eBay, Amazon, your own website, you should be creating content. You should be giving value, explaining what it is your products do, how they compare to other products, how it all fits together, and basically portraying yourself as the expert. The reality is now is you've now got a whole nother platform to do this on. It's, someone asked me before, it's like, well, and like I said, there's a lot of buzz around IGTV right now. A lot of people are having the conversation, well, should I be doing something on Instagram TV? Should I do Instagram instead of YouTube? Or should I, you know, I quite like YouTube. I have my community there. The answer is do both. Right now, you have to do both. Well, you don't have to, but I think you're leaving money and opportunities on the table if you're not doing both. Yes, it might be a ball ache to upload videos to two separate places. But right now, until we get the grasp of how big IGTV could be, early adopters will usually win. I almost said always, and I usually say always, but early adopters will usually win because they're in it from the beginning. They learn how it works. They learn what to do, what not to do, where the buttons are, where, you know, the subscribe links are and everything else. But ultimately, they start building that audience. They start building an audience that get used to seeing their content, consuming their content. If you came to IGTV in 6 months, 12 months' time, you'd probably be very, very far behind the people who are getting involved with it today, tomorrow, this week, and learning how it works, building that audience and everything else. So I'm excited, like, right now by this. I mean, I've been advocating video content for so long, and it's so good to now have YouTube have sort of had the monopoly on video content. Vimeo, you can add, has its own little place, but as far as like the community goes and everything else, Twitch, again, for live streamers, has really sort of taken over a large part of that market that YouTube once sort of, again, had a bit of a hold on. But now Instagram is coming along with long form video content in vertical, not this, not the landscape mode. It's I think it's a game changer. I genuinely do. And when we think about e-commerce as well as a business, as an industry, Instagram were the guys. Instagram were the ones who actually have been trying to integrate e-commerce into social. We already know it works. I mean, look at WeChat out in China. It's a huge industry. Social commerce is a thing. And why you can argue Facebook had their marketplace, but it was C2C, not B2C. There was limitations. Instagram brought out shoppable posts. And again, that's still not open to everyone, but it's open to a lot of, the big channel, a lot of the big influencers, a bit of the stores and everything else. If Instagram can now bring over shoppable posts into shoppable video, all of a sudden that just changes the game completely for e-commerce. And that's something which right now YouTube doesn't do. Like I said, unless you have to click a card in the top right corner to go to a page, which takes you off the content. If Instagram can find a way to build this in natively, it really, really could be a game changer. Really could. And like I said, that's, this is all my thoughts and feelings on this after just a few hours. I would urge you, if you're watching this, to go and check out IGTV. Go and download the app. Whilst you're there, go and follow the Manc Entrepreneur and watch the videos that I put up, and subscribe and comment. Let me know, as well as comment underneath this video as well, because this is a battle right now. We're going to see which one's going to win. YouTube is like the old guard, and Instagram, IGTV is the disruptor. They're coming for mobile first. How many times have you watched a YouTube video on your phone and you've had to turn it sideways, and then your fingers are blocking the speakers on your phone, so that, unless you got earphones in, but then the earphone jack is sort of sticking out. Whereas if you could actually hold your phone like this and it not be a tiny little square in the middle of the phone, it feels a lot nicer. It just does. Like I said, it feels a lot more intimate. You're seeing someone in portrait mode. I don't know. Will it be the big change? I think if anyone can do it right now, it's Instagram. Like I said, you've got 1 billion monthly active users, and you're letting those billion people who are much more used to publishing content start getting involved with long form video, rather than the likes of YouTube, where you have to have so many subscribers before you can get your own URL. You need to, I think you're limited to 10 minutes if you have under so many subscribers, or if it's a new account, you can. There's a lot of limitations that YouTube do put on your account. You have to go through different verification steps. Instagram, it was literally like, log in, upload a video, away you go. It's an interesting one. And the thing is like, I love YouTube. I love YouTube. I watch so much YouTube. I listen to YouTube. I listen to podcasts on YouTube. The flip side of this is, now, are we going to start seeing phones? Is this going to revolutionize the phone market, so that we now need much longer battery life if everyone's going to start uploading videos from phones, recording videos from phones? Are we now going to see network providers like Vodafone, EE, need to start bundling much larger data packages? Because if you're uploading 2 gig, 1 gig of video every day, your allowance is soon going to run out. I have 20 gig a month of data, and I've never gone past it. But I reckon if I started posting Instagram TV every day, I would probably reach that limit at least, at least by sort of week 3 in a month. So are we now going to see, is data from providers going to become much more of a commodity? It already is, but are we going to see that even more? IGTV could really change a lot in the sort of industry, not just mobile, e-commerce, but video content as a whole. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Have you tried IGTV? What do you think of it compared to YouTube? Are you going to get involved? Do you have a bigger following on Instagram? Do you have a bigger following on YouTube? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know. Ultimately, nobody knows right now how this adaptation, how this implementation of IGTV is going to take a hold. if it even will. I strongly suspect that it will. But yeah, my advice to you is if you are creating content, have skin in the game. You need to have IGTV, you need to be doing YouTube. Back both horses and see which one works for you. Don't leave it until it's too late. With that said, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll catch you in the next video. But if you really want to see me that badly, I would head over to Instagram and IGTV because it's a lot simpler for me to start doing uploads from there than it is on here. And that convenience always wins. I'll leave you with that thought. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, like if you've enjoyed this video, and again, let me know your thoughts down below. I really am curious to see what your thoughts are. With that said, enjoy. I'll catch you in the next video. See you then.